CTV News at 6 with Joe Perkins.
Good evening. Thank you for being here. More than 200 people in the island community of Ditidaht have spent another day without power. BC Hydro de-energized the West Coast village on Friday over safety concerns, but expected the power to be back by last night. It wasn't, and now with the town cut off for a third day, patience in Ditidaht is running out. Ditidaht is located at the end of a large tidal lake called Ditidaht Lake, which is approximately 23 kilometers long. The situation all started Friday after BC Hydro received a call from a homeowner in the area about the safety of the nearby electrical distribution equipment. It was discovered that copper grounding wire had been stolen from approximately 300 utility poles. BC Hydro worked all day yesterday expecting the power to be back on, but it never happened.
We've never seen a theft of this magnitude where we had to take a whole community off the grid essentially and de-energize it. It's not something, it's a decision we really agonized over, but we want to make sure it's safe. We deliver electricity, and one thing we don't compromise on is the safety of the public and safety of our crews when it comes to delivering electricity.
People in the community say they are used to a lack of power during winter months and many have generators, but no one was prepared for this. We spoke to one of the town's councillors, Terry Edgar, today, who told us that the 240 people in the town have become disorganized by a crime that has led to more problems than anyone could have predicted.
You know, whoever's done it or what has happened here is quite frustrating. And when you get a community isolated away from internet, communications, telephone, radio, all that, it really starts to ripple down and it does create frustration. And with no clear answer of when it's going to be repaired, other than the commitment of Hydro to stay until this is done. Like I said, we're just on edge, sitting here waiting to find out what the next moves are.
Hydro crews will continue to be on site until the power is restored. BC Hydro hopes that the power is back by tonight. If you have any information about this crime, you're asked to call BC Hydro, police, or Crime Stoppers. Fire crews in Esquimalt are being credited with saving 2 people from an apartment fire. Just before midnight, firefighters were called to the 700 block of Lamson Road. When they arrived, most of the people had responded to the fire alarm and had gone outside for safety. Firefighters located 2 people inside one of the suites and moved them to safety as well. Both were treated for smoke inhalation. Damage is minimal and the cause is not considered suspicious. We are learning more today about the man involved in this weekend's fatal along the Malahat. West Shore RCMP say a Victoria area man in his 40s was behind the wheel of this Volvo sedan when it veered right into a concrete barrier and went over the edge. The car was discovered around 5 a.m. yesterday, but no one witnessed the crash. Police do not suspect the driver was impaired, but toxicology tests are being done by the BC Coroner Service. The Malahat Fire Department says this is the first, fatal this year along the Malahat. The man's family has been notified. Now to St. Patrick's Day, a day when everyone is just a little bit Irish. And from Dublin to Victoria and most places in between today, you found shamrock-clad leprechauns, Guinness, and Irish dancing. On a blustery St. Patrick's Day morning,
I didn't plan on it being this chilly out this morning, but I knew that with the warmth of the Guinness that I drank this morning already, that I'll be fine.
The game plan is the same as it is every year.
Well, beer in the shower is part 1. Part 2 is always Irish times.
And part 3 is home. On St. Patrick's Day, it doesn't matter where you're from, everyone's invited.
St. Patrick's Day for a Swedish girl, it means wearing green, drinking green beer.
But to do that at Victoria's Irish Times, you must arrive early and wait.
Definitely the busiest day and the most fun.
Finally, the doors open and the line moves. No one is happier than this man.
Hey, happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Inside, dancing leprechauns, generous leprechauns, and a whole lot of Guinness.
We usually go through about 15 or 16 kegs of Guinness.
This man calls it a pint of the black.
It's part of my heritage. It's where my parents are from, Ireland.
A place that refused to let a little bad weather damper the party. In Dublin, the St. Patrick's Day annual parade wound through the heart of the city, and cities around the world followed suit. In Vancouver, thousands took in a similar parade.
Oh, we're having a great time. I'm from England, Northern Ireland.
Oh, you are? Yeah. A good place to be from, especially today when everyone's feeling good and some a little green.
Just good fun, good companionship, and a few Guinnesses.
A party expected to go late into the night. And when it does, there is only one thing you need to have.
Be safe. Get some DDs for you.
A safe ride home. Without it, it could be a chilly walk. Political news now. The battle of the Stevens is over. The BC Liberals now know who will run in Saanich North and the Islands. In what was a very close race, Salt Springs' Stephen Roberts will be the Liberal candidate in the next election. Roberts recently retired as an executive in international banking. He's also involved in several charities. The native of Sydney says he's looking forward to the campaign.
Well, I've got a wealth of international experience behind me and business experience that I hope to bring forward. BC is competing in a competitive marketplace, and it's got to get its message out, and it's got to get its resources to markets, and we've got to build our economy more effectively.
Roberts was up against Stephen Chang, a business owner who spent his entire life living in the Saanich area. Adam Olsen is running for the Green Party, and Gary Holman is running for the Liberals. A nomination meeting was also held today in Langford for current Wandafuka MLA John Horgan. The incumbent is looking to represent the riding for a second term.
My focus is going to make sure that I talk to as many people as I possibly can and guarantee to them that I will do my level best to represent them, regardless of how they think on the political spectrum. I believe a member of the legislature has to represent all people. I've tried to do that over the past 8 years. I'll try and do it for the next 4.
In 2005, Horgan was first elected as the MLA for Malahat, Wandafuka. Tomorrow, the province's new Family Law Act will come into effect. The province says the new law, which was passed back in November of 2011, will put the best interests of children first when families are going through tough times such as separation and divorce. It also clarifies parental responsibilities and the division of assets if families do break down. The law will also grant couples who have lived together for 2 or more years the same rights and regulations as married couples. This means things such as property and debt will, after tomorrow, become family property and family debt. The law also addresses family violence and supports families settling disputes out of court. Welcome back. The president of the BC Teachers Federation is stepping down, but not before firing some parting shots in defense of teachers. Susan Lambert says she'll be stepping down at the end of this school year. The outgoing president has been a sharp critic of the Liberal government, continually accusing the Liberals of underfunding education and violating teachers' rights. She says no matter which party is in government, the union must press for better teaching and learning conditions that meet the diverse needs of students.
We've assumed a very, very strong responsibility for advocating for public education. We recognize so clearly that the conditions in our classrooms impact on how we can teach to students.
Lambert's successor is scheduled to be chosen at the Federation's annual meeting in Vancouver, which began yesterday and runs until Tuesday. The convention will also discuss education funding, collective bargaining, and political action it may take during the provincial election campaign in May. Finally tonight, it's our weekend cameraman Steve Coulterman's favorite event of the year. And this weekend, Coultermania got to check out Lego Mania.
Lego is something that everyone loves, right? I mean, it's a good childhood memory. It's great for all ages. It's something fun to do with your hands. You can build just about anything.
Including a BC ferry, Lego Mania back for another year at Tillicum Centre. More than 100 young Lego fans between the ages of 5 and 14 are competing. This year's big build at the event is a Lego replica of a BC ferry put together piece by piece over the course of 3 days by Lego professional Robin Sather.
It's probably the most detailed, large weekend creation that I've done. I mean, I build things that take a lot longer to build, but I do them in my studio and they'll take a week or a month or even 2 months. But this is one weekend. This is parts of 3 days. And to be able to pull it off, I have great help from the Victoria Lego Users Group guys again. And yeah, it's probably the most detailed I've done in a weekend. Let's put it that way.
Typically, Sather's centerpiece Lego displays are larger in size, not nearly as detailed, though, as the coastal inspiration. The ferry fits in perfectly, he says, with this year's Lego Mania theme, which is water. All weekend, a steady flow of families have poured through the mall, many stopping to take part in the event's Lego play area.
It's a hobby. It's a collectible thing. It's something that they really enjoy because they things fall apart. They put them together their own ways. It's very creative. They make some new cool things that wasn't part of the design. So it keeps their brains working.
There were awards handed out this afternoon. Sather also managed to put the finishing pieces on the BC Ferry just in time for the end of the event.